If you can hear me now, we've talked about the community itself where these schools are situated and the level of awareness that is out there on the Safe School Initiative. Not just about the school itself, but the community, because when they abduct these students, they pass through the communities. So how can these communities be better integrated into school protection efforts?
I think there are three things to do. One, there is need to identify the affected community and also conduct a kind of maybe a ward level sensitization meetings where they can be, the communities can be mobilized to understand and to know about the policy, and then to have basic information and basic guidelines on how to kind of participate in the policy implementation. That is one. Two, there is need to have a kind of a feedback mechanism where the engagement between the school management and the security institutions and the community members will have a kind of a coordinated mechanism where they will be having a review meeting and discussions and assessing the risk and the mitigation factors. And number three, there is a need for the local education authorities to kind of have an engagement with traditional and religious leaders. So those traditional leaders will be making it like one of the topic of discussions during the monthly security review meeting. This monthly security review meeting is happening every month in each and every local government that we have in Nigeria, where you have the presence of all the security agencies, all the traditional leaders from the macro level up to the district level. The meeting is still taking place, so it should form part of the agenda of discussion. The issues related to vulnerabilities and the issues of the Safe School Initiative, or rather, even at the community base, they should have another system where communities will also serve as volunteers, where you engage some of the youth to train them to serve as volunteers, whether maybe to give them some token or to build their confidence and trust to understand that it is their own responsibility. I find it very difficult to understand why schools are being shut down, because it's like we are encouraging the criminals. It's like government is telling them that we lack the capacity. We cannot accommodate your challenges. So what we do is to shut down the schools. And like mentioned by Dr. Kabir Ademo and all of you during the discussion, as you discussed in the studio, that most of those who are implementing or who are making the policy, they are not really directly affected by the policy, because their children are not schooling, even in even the secondary education. They send them abroad. So they don't know and they don't go out. They sit in Abuja, they sit to their computer, looking at their computer and make decisions. We go to these communities. So there is need to have improved synchronization, partnership, and kind of coordination mechanism between the community members and the schools-based management committees. That school-based management committee is very, very essential in a kind of improving the Safe School Initiative or implementation of the Safe School Initiative. But how effective? What are the performance? What do we do? Where is the assessment? What have we, where is the review? What do we do? Actually, I feel like crying. When you go down, there is nothing. The communities are not aware, they don't know. So you need to carry them along. There is what has been called as ward level development committees, which is still in existence. There is settlement development committees, which are still in existence. Those are structures that has been set up by UNICEF before. So I think the Safe School Initiative should take advantage of those committees. You don't need to set any committees. So those committees will be included, and then they should be utilized as a ladder in order to sensitize the community to understand and then improve working relationship between the school management, the school-based management committee, as well as the local authority, local education authorities, and the zonal levels. And you must have a kind of a simple distress phone numbers shared with the community in case of such issues, even though it is not all about having the numbers. who pick the number and who respond to the number, the phone number, even if you have the distress call, because there are so many challenges, so many in terms of community engagement and community participation. So it should be a kind of community driven, whereby the community will be encouraged and their capacity will be built up so that they can drive, you can have a drive from the community. So it will be community initiated, community driven, and build the community for ownership, to own the process and own the system and believe that it is ours. And at the same time, those policy implementers and policy makers, like mentioned by Dr. Kabir Adamu, there is a need for them to be forced a kind of a condition, to have a condition that their children must be in those schools and the public schools, in the public tertiary health facilities, and so on and so forth. Until and unless you have some of this and many other things, then you will have the community participation realized, and then you will have the policy. You will see something. But actually, when you go to the macro level, when you go to the political wards, when you go to the schools at the down level, when you go to the school, even at the local government levels, you realize that there is issues related to managing disaster, managing if there are maybe any situation, children even use, many of the fences are broken. So there are a lot of issues. In fact, it's quite disheartening and frustrating.